Okay, so you've mastered the intro. And now we're going to look at basically the whole of Streets of London. So this is a good time to tell you about my Patreon page because it's where I put all of my tabs and lead sheets. So particularly for this song, I will definitely post the intro tab and the lead sheet, which is the chords and the lyrics. You just find the relevant video, you scroll down, and then you just find the PDF underneath it and press on it, and then you can download it. So all you have to do is sign up to my page, and it's affordable. It's whatever you feel comfortable paying once a month. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Ron and Tate for keeping this and my other channel alive. Now back to the video. I'm going to assume you've done your intro, so I'm not going to waste any time on that. We're going to have a nice punchy video. But I would start with the intro and then come in with this fingerpicking pattern, which I would use throughout with the exception of the first line of the chorus on the C and the A minor, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So the rest of the song is going to be like this. So I could take this hand off really, because it's all about my finger picking pattern. So I'm going to go T, coffee, coffee, T, T, coffee, coffee, T. Now plucking two at the same time is optional. You could just pluck maybe the bass note. And that would be absolutely fine. As I always say, there's absolutely no pressure from me here, guys. It's up to you and what you like the sound of. I think I quite like plucking both at the same time. Yeah, I've just gotten used to doing it over time. So anyway, you're going to be plucking thumb and middle, and then thumb, index, thumb back to the A string, middle, thumb. So thumb and middle, then thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb. And then your rhythm, T, coffee, coffee, T, T, coffee, coffee, T. So you can see hopefully what I'm doing. And like I said, this one is optional. We could just go thumb, thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb, 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 index, thumb, middle, thumb. But your aim before you do the rest of this video really, if you want to do it with me, is you got to try and get that in your fingers. So that could take a week, it could take 2 weeks, or you might be really fast and have a sticky brain and it might take a day, but that's what you want to do. You want to get that in your fingers. So you're going T, coffee, coffee, T, T, coffee, coffee, T. And you want it to go round and round like that without any gaps. T, coffee, coffee, T. T, coffee, coffee, T, T, coffee, coffee, T. Alright? And I will say also this thumb starting here on the A string is going to move depending on the chord. So if it's a C chord, it will be there. You can hear that sounds nice. If I did that on, let's see, is there a D chord in this? No, there isn't a D. How about a G? We've got a G7 in this. If I start here on the G7, listen to this. Sounds a little weird to me. It's okay, but it's a bit weird. Also, we're not hearing the 7 at all, so we might as well play a G using this, by the way. That makes it easier. But you would move your thumb to where the lowest bass note is. So in this case, it's over there, 3 on the E string, which gives you a G anyway. And then it instantly sounds better. Quick note, by the way, if you do still want the sound of a G7, put your little finger on 3rd fret on your D string. Sounds quite nice, right? It's a different way of doing a G7. So let's just break it down because some of you will probably want a bit more guidance on that. So the C chord stays here, the G goes to the E. I'll put them down so you can see it. So C on the A, G on the E, A minor back on the A, E minor back on the E, F. If you're playing it like that, you're still on the E. If you're playing it like that, then D. Okay, down there. So this one is your lowest note. You could play an A, but it's a little weird. I'll play it to you. Just sounds weird, even though it's in the note. It's in the chord of an F. This one is an A and that one's an A. For some reason on a guitar it just sounds weird, so I'd recommend you go from your D. But anyway, if you're doing that one, don't worry about that. Use your E. So there you go. It's just between probably these two for most people, unless you're using that F, in which case you're using the D string. So that was a lot of waffle, I know. But it is like that with fingerpicking patterns because you got to get them in your hand first. So you do really want to rest that left hand to begin with. Because like I said in my other video on this song, if you leave a chord down for too long, you are going to get railroad lines, tracks in your fingers, it's gonna hurt and you're gonna start to get pressure issues. Your hand might shake because it's been there for too long. So just don't do it, don't put yourself through it. Just practice this by doing this for about a week. See if you can make a dent in it, just 5 minutes a day. And don't worry if you put a quaver on the end as well, by the way. So if you went tea, coffee, 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 as long as you repeat correctly, we're good. It's all maths basically, so the bar needs to be balanced. So long as it's all balanced, you're absolutely fine. I would worry more if you put in another crotchet, because then you've changed the timing and it's no longer 4/4, it's become 5/4. So I'm just going to give you an idea of what that sounds like once you've got it in your fingers. So I'm going to pop this hand back down there and I'm going to run through the verse. We'll talk about the chorus in a second, but this is just how the verse goes, just to give you an idea. Have you seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking up the paper with his worn out shoes? In his eyes you see no pride, hand held loosely at his side. Yesterday's paper telling yesterday's news. And I just wanted to put that little bit of the intro riff in there so you can see, if you're competent with the intro riff, you could put the bar of G in that one. Yesterday's news, and then come back into your finger picking pattern on C. Equally, you could just have a normal one, yesterday's news, and that would be fine as well. Alright then, so coming to the chorus, the first line is the same to begin with, and then when we get to that C, we're walking down into an A minor. So the first two chords are the same as we've been picking before. We go, so how can you tell me you're... And then we're walking down, so we'll go C chord, and we pluck thumb and middle together. You can leave your 2 down, thumb, index, move the middle finger up to 2 on your A string, and then thumb, index again, and then we're coming to an open one, so this one is going to jump down one, so we get an open A, thumb, index, and then we're coming twitching, and then we're coming over to 3, which is that G, and then thumb, index. So the whole time this guy's been down as an anchor more than anything. We pluck him to start with, but he's helping me navigate. Feel where I am on the fretboard because he's down. If he wasn't down, I might slip, I might slide, that kind of thing, but he's there, so I can't go too far wrong. So let's do it together. We're going to go tea, coffee, tea, coffee, tea, coffee, tea, coffee, and we're going from a C chord, walking down into an A minor chord, and then a quick G to get into the next chord. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tea, coffee, tea. Coffee, tea, coffee, tea, coffee. And again with 1 and 2 and 3 ends. Pay attention to the middle finger if you're getting stuck. Just look at where it's jumping, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then you've got it. So again, as we did with the intro, go round and round those 2 bars until you've got them nice and fluent. You're aiming for that. If you really can't do that, just to reassure you, then just go, and that will still be fine. So just use the normal chords and normal finger picking pattern. If you did do that, I'll move this hand back a minute. Give it a break. That's better. And I'll just play that top line so you can hear what it would sound like without that little extra bit. So you go. So how can you tell me you're lonely? So you can hear it still works sonically. It's absolutely fine. It just sounds better, in my opinion, if you can get that walk down. Lonely. I quite like that, because then it comes down to a D with an F sharp. So for this D with an F sharp, you literally play a normal D chord and then bring your thumb over to hit the F sharp over here, which is on 2nd fret on your E string, which is quite nice. So with this one, with our picking, we'd make sure that we got the B string with our E string plucking together. And say for you that the sun don't, and there's 2 lots on that one because it's 2 bars long. Let's do it again. And say for you that the sun don't shine. And I think you could hear there, I made a big point out the F sharp. I went back to it rather than the A string. Again, doesn't matter too much. So long as the chord is down and it sounds right to you, you're doing a great job, alright? Alrighty then, let's go all the way through. I'm going to count you in and then obviously I'll be singing, so I won't be counting anymore. Try and include your walk down if you can. Let's see, with that G7, obviously like I said, you won't hear it if you're just playing G like that, or like that. Because your thumb will be plucking that E string and probably your A string. Or maybe your D, that's fine. So if you want the 7, you can use your little finger there. Or you could use it up there, which is your bar chord of G7, which is just an E7 shape, but up, 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 and then with the bar across 3rd fret. Give you a very pretty G7, but don't feel you have to do that. Very much up to you. I don't think I tend to do that, but I would rather you had the option. And remember, with the D in that chorus, you want the F sharp, so you've got to bring your thumb over to get the F sharp on 2nd fret on your E string. And I think that's about it. When you practice this yourself and when you perform it, I would recommend putting the intro on the beginning and maybe pop it halfway through as well. So 2 verses, and then after that chorus, put it in the middle. Just think it sounds nice. And you can also put your G bar on the last line of each verse. And on the last line of the chorus as well. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. So it's good for you to know. All right. That's enough waffle out of me. Let's go all the way through. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking up the paper with his worn out shoes? In his eyes you see no pride, hand held loosely at his side. Yesterday's paper telling yesterday's news. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. Have you seen the old girl who walks the streets of London, dirt in her hair and her clothes in rags? She's no time for talking, she just keeps right on walking, carrying her home in to carrier bags. So how can you tell me you're lonely and say for you that the sun don't shine? Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. In the all-night cafe at 11:15, same old and say for you that the sun don't shine. Let me take you by the hand and lead you through the streets of London. I'll show you something to make you change your mind. So there you go, that's Streets of London all the way through, and I'm just going to quickly talk to you about that second line in the chorus because I know I do different things. And full disclosure, I'm used to strumming this D with the F sharp, I'm not used to picking it, so you could see that one would go down first. And then my whole hand would be like, where's the finger picking pattern gone? But the maths was solid, so it was balanced, the chord was down, so nothing was going wrong. It will be the same for you if something goes wrong mechanically, if you know what I mean. So if you're intending it to start there, don't worry if it jumps down, that's fine. It's kind of better if it does for a D chord anyway. You want it to start a little bit lower, so you'd go thumb, thumb, middle, thumb, ring, thumb, 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 middle, thumb, ring, thumb. So I'd probably do it like that. I know mine was a little messy in places, but let's just talk about the G and the G7 at the end of it. So that's a normal bar of G, it's just that I'm plucking there as opposed to plucking there. So rather than plucking thumb and middle, I'm plucking thumb and ring. So that we get a and say for you that the sun don't shine. And then that bit should all be normal, and then I went into a G7 and plucked it again so that I could get the 7, which is that F over there. And then again, nice and normal. So it's just the plucking, if you like, on the first beat that's different. And then from there you carry on as normal. So there you go. That's it. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. Took a lot to tab it, so I hope you appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember, you can join me on Patreon. I upload the tabs on there. And I especially will if you show some interest in that. I've been a little slow with it because I haven't seen much interest. But if you show me that you want it, then you'll get it. Simple as. So yeah, here's the link if you'd like to sign up for my Patreon. I upload live streams and things like that at least once a month, but there's normally at least 2 things per month. So there you go, and again, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!